Hey guys, welcome back to Paint with Josh. We're in the studio. We have our 16 by 20 inch black canvas, and what we're going to cover it with is our Bob Ross liquid clear. Looks a whole lot like this. You have to have the clear or linseed oil. The point is you have to have a wet canvas, and that's the key. If you don't have a wet canvas, you're going to have a real tough time blending out all those thick oils across this dry canvas, right? So we take our clear and just start dropping it in little places, and just same with our 3 Ps, right? The amount of paint on the brush, the amount of pressure we can stretch all of this clear across the entire canvas, just like that. And it may take a few minutes, so before you scroll ahead, make sure you give me a thumbs up, you like this video, subscribe, share it, do all the cool stuff you gotta do in order to help it reach more people on YouTube, right? That's the whole goal, help it reach more people. Get the name out there for me, because I can't reach everybody by myself. I need your guys' help. And the best way to do that is by liking the video. Like, comment, send it to your grandma, send it to your grandkids, send it to your wife, your mom, your daughter, your sons, all of them. They're all gonna love me. So, we're gonna take a few minutes, get all this clear across all the canvas, make it nice and even, and then we'll be ready to go. You never know how long it'll take to do with these things either. That's why I use a big old 2-inch brush. Again, nice and easy to do. Cover our whole canvas, spread it nice and easily and thin. You definitely don't want to have it thick in a certain area. That makes it harder to do. So go across our whole thing, make sure we're nice and thin. We'll be rocking and rolling and ready to go. We'll hit the TikTok camera, get on the live stream, and see what kind of nonsense we can create right here with you. It's going to be fantastic. So get your colors out. I gotta get my colors out, actually. Still don't even have any colors out. That would have been a faux pas, wouldn't it? So let's take our little bit of a paper towel, little piece of paper towel. We're gonna fold it in half and fold it in half again, a little square. Take the square, start at the bottom, wipe it, right? Ooh, look at all that paint that we grabbed off our easel. That's gonna be no good. So I'm gonna reuse that square a little bit higher. There we go. I don't wanna bring any of the new paint up onto this painting, because Paint with Josh paints so often. Man, there's always paint on the easel, right? There we go. Nice, even. Look at all the excess we removed. That's what you gotta have, right? So give me a few minutes to get my colors together, and I'll be right back like this. Hey, we're back. Paint with Josh back in the studio. We've got our cadmium yellow, sap green, phthalo blue, alizarin crimson, midnight black, and titanium white. We just did a black and white painting, and I decided to come back, and we're just gonna blast this whole thing with a ton of color. So let's take our green, our sap green color. All right, don't need a whole lot on the brush. Don't want to have too crazily much. All right, drop it in different places. And then I'm going to get rid of some of that off of our brush, because we don't want to have so much on there that it spreads too far. All right, so let's dab off the old brush. Get a lot of that green color off of there. All right, and then we'll come back up here and really start to spread it. Spreading and spreading and spreading. Very cool. Oh, I like that. This is going to be a nice little pretty one. Let me tell you something. Very cool. Now I'm going to wash the brush off. You guys are going to tell me where you're watching from, what your favorite sandwich is, because I love to know the answer to both questions. Where are you watching from? What's your favorite sandwich? Now I'm going to take a little bit, dab off my brush, and then what we're going to do is grab up our palette, right? Went through all the colors already, so if you missed that part in the beginning, you're gonna have to go over and catch this on my YouTube channel in, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 weeks, something like that. Take our crimson and our blue. Let's just toss that stuff right back here. We have this gorgeous little purpley sky. Oh, it's gonna be fantastic. Purpley wave, sorry. Purpley water. There we go. Now I wanna have a bright blue portion of our eye. Since all the purple is going to be back there, let's add a little bit extra blue in here, right down along the face. Have all this little bit of gorgeousness. Take all of our blue down here, and then we're going to mix it all in with the crimson anyway, right? So now, any area that we don't cover on our canvas is going to show that black color. It's going to show our white color very brightly, whatever we decide to do, right? Look at all this crimson that's going to mix in with this blue. We're going to have so many different colors in here, different little hues. Tonal differences in color, right? Look at all this stuff. It's fantastic. Now we're going to bring up our horizon just a little bit. Make sure it's nice and straight. Very cool. Don't want to overmix the colors too much. Have a little of our crimson down here because you have to have The whole canvas covered with a little bit of undercolor. That's what I like to call it. A little undercolor. So we did a black and white scene earlier today, and then we had a request to come back and do like a crazy sort of seascape. So that's what we're gonna do today. Well, tonight anyway. So let's wash both these brushes off. Get rid of all the paint off of them so we have our clean utensils. You guys tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwich? When's your paint-iversary? Because mine just happened a few days ago. It was on April 12th was my paint-iversary. So, very cool. Let's see. Hey, what's going on, Mela? I think that's how you say it. Melao67. Excellent. Welcome. Welcome. From Colorado, from Arizona. Hey, Cosmic Lighthouse. Cosmic Lighthouse might like this one a lot, you guys. It's going to be very similar to one that she bought, but it's going to be purple at the bottom, kind of green and yellow at the top. It's going to be really cool. So, we don't need to do much else besides grab a fan brush and decide what we want our Aurora to look like, right? If we're going to paint an Aurora Borealis, we're going to grab a little of our white mixed with a little bit of our yellow, putting it on the tip of the brush, mixing it down, blending it down. Remember, guys, tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwich? Let's all go over to paintwithjosh.etsy.com, and we're going to come up here and just really show you how to make a wicked little Aurora. Bam! So cool. Going to bring it down, same spot. Just like that. Very neat, right? All depends on your angle of your pole, your brush, how much paint you have. So we can take a little bit and dab it out here. Get a little longer bits going out this way. Maybe there's a little bit on the top. Who knows? Nothing too crazy. Take this guy down in here. Literally just like that. Dabbing in those little extra bits of paint right into our green section, right? It's going to be very cool. Oh, this is going to be a neat one. So all we're going to do now is take our 2-inch brush, that nice clean dry 2-inch brush that we already dried and dabbed off, and set our old palette down. I'm going to really show you how to make the coolest Aurora ever with the little 3 P's that we talk about all the time, right? And what are the 3 P's? Do you guys know the 3 P's? It's the amount of paint that we have on the brush, the amount of, what's that second P? I always forget. You guys know the second P? Who knows the second P? Why are you wearing gloves? Well, I like keeping my hands clean. Pressure. Let's see. Paint with Jimmy knows. Paint with Jimmy's getting a follow from Paint with Josh. He's got 28,000 or 25,000 followers. That's awesome. So, pressure, right? How much pressure are we pushing? Depends on how long those things are going to grow. Watch, I'm going to show you real fast. If we just give it a little pressure, look at how far they are. They're not very long, right? Same spot, more pressure. Really shoot them up that way. Bang. Drag it up. Turn our brush on the side. Just like that, right? Come up here, match the angle, but pull straight up. Very, very cool. Little tiniest little pulls on the way down. Just to take away any little brush strokes. Very neat, right? Come over here again. Lots of pressure. Bang. Straight up. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Boom. Slide it up. All the way up in here. You don't even need to do much else. Look at how bright it gets. Just wicked, right? So neat. Come in here, just slight pulls on our little bits. You don't want to go around the outside. You got to try to keep the outside line clean. So pull from the inside, and then from the top, just the smallest bit down. Oh, that's wicked. Look at that, guys. That is just fantastic. And I love it. And I love you guys all for tuning in and hanging out, seeing what we got going on at the Paint with Josh show today, right? Just making the bottom very soft. Bingo, bango, guys. That looks really cool. Now, you know what we're missing? Even though I don't like it all to be the same, we need a little bit of extra brightness right in there just to have it look so super neat when we hit it and shoot it up there, right? Wicked cool. Wicked cool. Oh, I love how they just come down at different angles, but I kind of want this guy to be in front. So let's add him just like that. And then straight up. Bingo, bango, guys. That is so cool, and it's so easy and neat how you do it. Just the coolest, neatest little technique. And don't tell Paint with Bram that I stole it from him. It's okay. Shh. He's probably asleep. He's not watching anymore. He went to bed. It's fine. Now, I don't want to come up too far, right? Or come down and grab any bits of my purpley water. It's going to be fantastic. Just wicked cool, guys. Oh, I can't stop playing with them. They're so neat. Okay, let's take this. Let's dip it into our thinner, our odorless mineral spirits. Mix it up. This is going to be like a very Halloween-y type painting. Like, look at just the paper towels that got thrown away with that little splatter in there. You get green and purple. Oh, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool, guys. So, I don't know what was happening with my Etsy store earlier, but if you go to Etsy, search for painting 732, right? If you get 732, that's this one. It's in a green Aurora Borealis Seascape is what it's called. On a black canvas, 16 by 20, painted tonight with today's date, right? And you'll see it. Hopefully, it's one of those times where Etsy pulled the listing down to have its robots look at it, make sure it was legit, and then it's going to put it back up. I just don't know when it's going to go up. So this painting will be available for sale at some point, right? And then take another brush, just like that. Oh, guys, I just can't stop. They just look so gorgeous. So we'll be available for sale at some point. Check my Etsy store and see what's going on over there, right? If you keep refreshing and searching for 732 or type in the word TikTok and look for the one that says 732, that's this one. It'll say green Aurora Borealis Seascape. And that's the one you want to buy, right? There's like 3 or 4 paintings in my shop that say TikTok in them, but only one says the green Aurora Borealis Seascape, and that's the one you want. You want to grab this painting right here. So let's wash off all the paint off of that brush. Now we're going to switch from using that yellow and white to just using white. All right, we don't need that yellow anymore. So let's take our palette knife. I'm going to scrape up all that yellow section that was mixed in with our paint. Maybe we'll save it over here. We might use it later. No sense in throwing it away if we can save it and use it later. Now remember, not only can you buy this painting, but you guys are going to be able to name this painting. So if you've never named a painting before, it's a really cool thing. And a lot of times if it does get purchased, some of the times the buyer already has an idea, but some of the times they'll choose from the names that you guys have put forth in the comments. And if it doesn't get purchased, then I get to choose the name. And that's really fun. We give you a shout out, I'll give you a follow, all sorts of cool stuff, right? Just like that. Get a little bit of paint just on the edge of the brush, nice and chiseled. And we're gonna come knock the camera over, just like that. I'm gonna come up here and just start making little waves, kind of like little smiley faces, but not so pronounced, right? Don't need to make them so crazy. Little things, little bright areas, little dark areas, right? Don't connect everything. Don't have to go all the way. Just like that. I don't even care if it's straight, you know what I mean? You can either make it straight later or not worry about it, right? There's a lot of waves out there in the ocean. It doesn't have to be straight all the time. We're gonna take our 1-inch brush, we're gonna come in here, just very lightly pull. And look, because we left those light areas and dark areas, as it starts to fill itself in, you get these bright areas, dark areas, and they look like waves off in the distance, right? Very cool, little bits of water rolling in. Then you can go back and see where that is. Right, go, okay, I can see that maybe there's a little bit of highlight off the tip top of this wave back here. So we'll put just a little teeny tiny line, right? There's obviously a little back there. Obviously not connect that guy completely. There's a little area over here where we got another little bit. Just the smallest little line of paint is all you need. The littlest indication of some far away little bit of water rolling in, right? And as we swipe them off to the side, they start looking very cool. Very neat. Look, just with the smallest amount of our second P of Paint with Josh, and that's pressure, right? And have that small amount of pressure. And watch, even back here, the more you push, the more it'll blend away and become soft. And then you can decide what you want to do. If you want to come in, add another little section of water back here. Very little straight little line. Start to blend it back, making it soft, pulling it out. Having those little differences, right? Little bits, little things. And that's what we're worried about. Little teeny tiny things when we're doing our seascapes. Because we're not trying to cover the entire canvas in paint, right? We're just trying to make, actually we're trying to leave a lot of the original dark color and our purpley mix that we made up underneath. So we're gonna take a little teeny tiny fan brush, just like this, come in and we're gonna decide, maybe right here, we're gonna dip up and then down, just like that. Just like a little mustache. That's all you need. Take this guy, slide it back, all the way off into the distance. And then when we take it with our other brush, he'll become very soft, right? You don't want to go all the way from the peak though. Don't touch the peak. Then this side, just gonna take the smallest little things, very light pressure. Again, don't come back and touch the peak, but both lines of water have to be going in the same direction. That's what you want. right? Remember, we planned on our eye of our wave being right here, so you don't want to go too crazy with the background details of your water, right? Very lightly with the same old brush, sliding it back, leaving those small little details back there, teeny tiny little things, right? Same angle, I'm hitting over here and then dragging it, hitting and dragging, sliding it back that way, right? Trying to retain this dark line underneath that bit of brightness. That's your best friend. That little bit of dark line, that is going to be your best pal, right? And then we're going to come up here and we're going to rotate over with our big old crashing wave, having the eye of our wave be about right there, right? That's where we're going to guess where it is. So I need to load up this brush with a little bit more paint and come in here. Literally making these up as we go, guys. Literally. So tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwich? Going to show you how to make the most awesome crashing wave right here. Take this brush like that, knock you over like this, and let's say we came up, if that was the eye, that's going to be where we start to rotate. So we're going to take our brush, start coming down. Very lightly start coming down. Then we're going to turn. We're going to start going this way. Maybe it starts climbing up a little bit higher, right? All depends on what you want your wave to look like. Don't let it get too bright. Don't use too much paint, right? Never want to use too much. Flip the brush over. Get a nice bright area. Watch this. Just with a little rotation, right? You got to pretend there's a little rotating little ball down there. Don't do that. I'm just trying to show you how to do that, right? Don't do it over that far. But that's what you want. That's what you want to have, that little rounded flick towards the end of whatever your water is doing, right? Little flick, like it's come down. Ooh, that looks like a claw. Ooh, that's a cool thing. Okay, now we're going to take the brush. You know what? Let's actually get rid of this brush. Let's go back to that small brush. And that way we can load it up. And we won't have to wash the other one because I'm a lazy old painter. Come in here like this, knock the camera over, and then just come up here, start grabbing onto that little bit, slide down. Don't even go all the way off. You don't need to. Take this same little brush, and now this, remember that little darkness underneath? That's our best friend right here. I'm gonna grab it like this, start sliding it back, little flick upwards, right? And then we're gonna start to change. You're gonna see it start to change the angle, right? Right now we're sort of facing right here, but by the time we get done, the tips are gonna be way over here. So you have to start to decide when you're gonna start rotating your little flicks, right? They're coming up, they're coming up. Now they're starting to go over to the side, over to the side, over to the side, just like a clock would, right? Go like that. Now, here, I want to come in, I want to bring it real close to the water, real close to that next little line, leaving those little dark little bits though, right? Those little things. Just don't have this light color connect to that light color, right? And then I want to have it a little bit taller over here where the shadow would be a little bit taller. And then we're going to come back, bringing it a little closer up to that little bit, but don't touch it. Don't stinking touch it, Josh. Don't touch those two light colors together. That's not what you want. Those light colors want to stay separate. And if they stay separate and you retain that bit of darkness, that's what sells your painting. This little pocket of darkness is what sells paintings right there. That is fire. Man, I wish Etsy was working good. Now look, we've pretended we had our eye there. Let's take that same little brush. Just start to work in a little bit of eye color. Kind of staying close, but what do we have to retain when we do that? Our little dark separation, right? We had all of our color back here, and we start getting in closer, we can start to see more details, right? So we get our dark separator, got a dark separator here in between all this color and whatever other color is there. You have to have that dark separator, like Sade, right? Gotta have that sucker in there. Who knows how to spell Sade? That's my question. How do you spell Sade? With that dark separator. Does anybody know? I'm the first person that knows how to spell Sade the correct way. Then I'm going to follow you real quick. Come on, somebody hit me with it. Somebody hit me with it. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Come on, guys. Almost Perky. Perky almost got it. Sade. Sade. Nope, 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 nope. Oh, you guys are so close with the safe. No, it's not it. Nope, no. You guys, all right, guys. You guys are really going to be... There's no one here that wants a follow from Paint with Josh that knows Sade. Come on, guys. No, no, no. You guys are just, what are you guys doing? This is embarrassing for you guys. Oh my head, I still haven't seen it at all. Shady, said, you guys keep saying said, shadu, shoddy, shoddy. No, that's not it. Sade, guys, come on. Let me give you a clue. The H is actually not in the word when it's spelled. Oh, you guys are so close. If somebody would just type it in. All right, that's it. Time is up, guys. Time is up. Not a speller. Let me show you how to write Sade. Okay, this poor Sade out here. That smooth operator, right? That is how it is spelled. Sade, Sade. So everyone kept adding an H right here, or they would have put like S-A-I-D. And I'm like, what do you, no, Sade. There's no H. Even though it sounds like there's an H, there's no H, guys. You guys learned something new. I can't believe nobody went to Google and typed in Sade. And be like, smooth operator, who sings smooth operator? And no one typed it in. That's horrible. That is horrible, guys. You guys. All right, next time we'll make it a little easier to get a shout out from Paint with Josh. I guess that was too hard of a question. That was too hard of a question. So, tell me where you guys are watching from. What's your favorite sandwich? And man, I can't believe people didn't see. Or maybe I just didn't see. Maybe the comments were coming in so quick that I couldn't see who said Sade. But all I kept seeing was the incorrect spellings. So, now that we've got our little I up there, and nobody remembers what we were talking about and why we even brought up Sade, it's because of the dark separator, right? Instead of smooth operator, we call it a dark separator. And that's because, look, we start to blend out that little bit, little teeny tiny circles, just pushing it all the way up to our little bit of water. But what are we leaving in between? That dark separator, that little dark line that separates those two colors. Same thing that's back here, right? We're going to talk about the dark separator a lot when we do seascapes. And as you blend, the more you mix it down, the more color you're going to show. So don't go too crazy, right? Come in here. You can make it as soft as you want. You can make it like velvet, just so soft. You can do whatever you want to do with your little eye of your wave, right? And the further it goes, the less and less and less color is going to actually come through. But what have we saved in here? We've saved our dark separator, and you got to save a little pocket of darkness down in here like we saved back here. Now, let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's get a little brush, not too small. I'm going to go up a size, a couple sizes in here, right? Now we're going to come in, we're going to grab up our black and crimson and blue all on the brush at the same time. We're going to make this dark separator color right here, right? Our Sade color. That's what we should call it because it is sort of a shady color. But remember, guys, there's no H in Sade. It's just S-A-D-E, Sade. Because I called it Sade I called her Sade for a long time. I was like, oh, I love that song by Sade. And someone was like, by who? I was like, by Sade? Like, smooth operator? It says Sade. Like, can you not read? I'm the dumb one? No. Yeah, no, it's because I was the dumb one. It's Sade. It's pronounced Sade. So we're going to grab up all that darkness on our brush while we forget about Sade for a minute. We're going to come up here and just start popping up little bits, right? Little slaps at it. And those little slaps are going to become our little foamy crashing water. You can already see it. And I've covered over this intentionally, because I told you guys you don't want to have that little bit down there. All right, and then we're going to stick along the edges of our brightness, leaving dark areas in between, right? These little dark areas are what sell it, guys. Darkness, 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 darkness. You got to save the darkness. We're on black canvas for a reason. If I wanted to show everything, then we'd be on white canvas, right? So we're going to come up here and slap into it. Just got to slap, and maybe we'll have a cool little bit of rocks smashing down or something, right? Just covering over some stuff. We're not going to see every piece of the wave. So cover over bits of it, right? And then we'll come back and we'll add different things. Maybe we'll be smashing into a big old cliff. Somebody said they wanted to see a cliff in it. So let's take our same black and blue and crimson color, the same old brush. Maybe we came down like this, just right through all of that color. And there will be our little cliff action. There we go. And we'll at least put it out there so we'll remember where it is later and try not to cover him up, right? That'll be really cool. Have a cool little rock out there. All of our shadows that we created, only covering over half of them though. I don't want to cover over the entire bit of shadow and lose it all, right? That's not going to be fun. But we just come in and we just slap at it. And trust me, when you get down here, just make a mess. You really don't have to do much. You really don't. You don't want to have a whole lot of detail down here. We're literally going to turn it into a cloud, right? And then we're going to go as high up as we can get and make our little cloudy shape. So we'll take this brush, come come up in here and just start mixing it so lightly with that second P of Paint with Josh, right? We talk about the 3 Ps. We have our first P is the amount of paint that was on the brush. Well, we don't have any amount of paint on this one. So we're relying heavily on our second P of Paint with Josh, which is, anybody know it? I'll give you guys a follow right now. If you know the second P, what are we doing? Pressure. I see Doe's Creations was the first person I saw. Pressure. Right. The second P is the amount of pressure that we're pushing. With the amount of pressure. Right. The second P is the amount of pressure that we're pushing. With the amount of pressure, we can have it grow down real far, right? Or we can just be very, very, very light with it and try not to have it grow at all. Just so lightly. Just a little. Oh, there we go. Wow, look at that. Smallest little things start to happen, right? Now what we're going to do is come back in, slap in a few more little bits of water and different things. Just adding another little layer. Again, coming in. Maybe we'll go up this time. Covering over little bits of those shadows, only leaving a few, right? And then you get all this splash. It's about to come down and hit. Ah, it's wicked. Again, we got to leave it dark down here. So I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. We're going to come in. We're going to wash off that brush. Got to get rid of all the white color that's all mixed in with all the purple. You don't want that stuff. Got to have it clean and fresh, right? Now we're going to come in here. Of course, we have to dab off our brush on a paper towel, but this is the most fun part where we come and make our seascape, right? So we don't want to have any of the liquid white. You want to pull out to the side where you got your big, thick titanium white over here. Just like that, getting it nice and crisp like it was on the edge of an axe. You could chop some wood with this sucker. It's so chiseled out there, right? And remember, guys, tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwich? I'm going to show you how to make the awesomest foam, if that's a word. The most awesome foam you've ever seen. Just like this. I'm going to come in here. Maybe our wave's touching right down here, so we're going to start to slide back. Right? And I don't want to curl up just yet. Just give me a second, right? We don't want to curl up just yet. We just want to slide back. Oh, look at it. Change to the pink over here because there's more crimson than there is crimson and blue on this side. Right now, we're going to start to pull forward, extending it down. Right? Coming back, grabbing from the middle, pulling it forward. Grabbing from the middle, pulling it forward. Bringing that sucker back down. Right? Boom, right there. We come and crash down right onto the ground. It's so easy. Right? Now we're going to take the other end of the brush that we haven't used, and now we're going to start our curls up. But you got to go back and then up. Back and then up. Not just straight up. If you go straight up or too much of an angle, too much of a 45 degree, it's not going to look right. And don't go too far, right? We don't want these colors to mix in too much with that bright color because it's all the same. Now, we've run out of paint on our brush. So let's come back in here, wash it off, and then we'll reload it. Only takes a second. All right, don't go anywhere. You guys got to tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwich? There we go, Josh. It's sold? This one sold? No way. No way. Someone tagged the no way guy. Oh, that's cool. Well, who bought it? I'd love to give you, we got to talk about it. Who bought the sucker? From Chicago, from the Philippines. I have so many fans in the Philippines, guys. I have more than 19,000 fans in the Philippines. That's more than the UK and Australia combined. You guys are slacking. Let's see. Arkansas, honey mustard. I'm from Vegas. That's cool. Now, perfect. From Texas, from Utah. I'm born in Utah, so I'll follow you there. All right, guys, let's finish up this thing. I can't just be following everybody. But yeah, I have so many followers from the Philippines. Can somebody tell me who bought the painting, though? Anybody? Can you guys tell me who bought the painting? Okay, let's come in here. I'm going to take up this white. And again, we're going to continue what we were doing before we get too distracted. Right? We have to go back and then up. You have to remember that there's something that we can use. Right? I don't like to show it on screen, but it is something we can use as long as, you guys know what this thing is. Right? So as long as I don't show it, then it's fine. But we're going to use the base of it in order to pretend there's a little ball there, right? You got to pretend there's a little circle. There's a little tennis ball. There's something that we have to go around. And that's going to force you to go back before you go up. You know what I mean? It's going to help us out. So, coming in here, the further we go this way, the more we want to stretch out to the side. Just like we did back here, right? So the more you go, the more you stretch, the more longer these guys get because we're going to come down just like our mustache back there. Down, down. See the little mustache shape? Same thing that's back here, right? Using the same exact shapes that we've already used before. Come down. It's all about the angles, though. You got to have those angles match up. Now watch this. We're going to pull this guy from these two angles. Going to have them line up right where those things crease, and it's going to look like two different waves. Promise me, or at least the edge of a wave. Trust in the process, okay? I'm going to come back in here. Now we're really going to start as we get in closer. Got to start deciding how far we're going back, how much we're curling up, how much of that little circular area are we going to leave dark, right? Is the water starting to climb up? What's going on? But you got to leave a little bit of darkness, a little bit of mystery back inside there. Because if you don't, you're going to miss it. You're going to miss it if it's not there. You'll be like, ooh, that doesn't look right. Without that little bit of darkness, it does not look right. It looks strange, trust me. I've done enough to know that it's going to look a little weird, right? Now we can come back, we can really extend our little bit of foam down as far as we want, bring it in, go over here, fix our rock, and we got a really cool little seascape coming together, right? So, let's see, we're going to take our brush just like this. Going to start to make these guys a little soft. Again, any amount of pressure is going to push it and want to make our colors touch. That's not what we want. We want to keep these guys up like that. See how they filled in? That's why we left a little bit of space in between, so those guys could fill in. And the more you push it, now watch, same thing. I'm going to come in with the same angle, down. Same angle, down. Same angle, down. And all of a sudden, it's going to start to help make this wave and all this color look like it's the foam that's floating on top. Again, we're going to take this guy, pull him up at this angle. Got to have the same stripes, though, the same swipes. There we go. A little bit of water here, there, and everywhere. It's all going all over the place, right? Just like that. Now, these guys, we need to make them a little bit softer, extend them up the wave a little bit, right? So we're going at the same angles, coming in, dragging them up, starting to pull them up, turn them a little bit, make them a little softer. And remember, this is our dark disconnect back here. Can't have all this color touch all of this color, right? You got to have that bit of change back in there. That's why we added it. That's why we put that thing in there. Very cool little bit of foamy little bit of water, right? So easy, so simply done. Gorgeous coloring too. I love the coloring. The coloring is fantastic. And just again, with the amount of pull and pressure, I can drag a little bit of color over. We can start to feed in our wave. We can start to rotate it around. And again, we got to have that little dark disconnect between the eye color and the color of the waves. And then everything's got to flow correctly, right? In those same directional pulls, just like that. Look at how soft and velvety that foam looks. Woo! That is precious. Okay, now we're going to take our brush. I'm going to go into a little bit of pink. All right, so we need a little crimson and a little white right down in here. I'm going to make this gorgeous little pinky color. And then we're going to make that our sandy bit, right? So we're going to take that pink just like this and come in here just a 1/4 inch underneath our other bit of color, right? You don't want it to come up too much and touch too close. But you see how it's climbing just like the other thing? You got to leave that little darkness in there, that little dark line. We'll come up in here. If you get rid of your dark line, you're going to miss it. Trust me. You're not going to be happy with yourself. Just like that. A little bit of pink in there. Then we're going to come in here, take our brush, grab it, pull it down, right? Even off the easel, off the canvas onto the easel. Grab it, pull it down. Grab it, pull it down. Hard. A lot of pressure. A lot of pressure here. All right, we're streaking it down. And this is the biggest mistake that the beginners make. They go, okay, I'm all set with my sand. Well, not really, dude. You gotta pull out all of these little marks. Look at this. As we pull them out to the side, look at the difference. Wet, soft sand that I want to go walking on, right? Walking on sunshine. Or Aurora Borealis, right? That looks very similar to that. And that looks sharp. I don't know if I want to go walking on that. So we're going to take it, and we're going to swipe them out horizontally, right? Feeding it back up into our wave, but not allowing all the color to get rid of that dark separator. That is our best friend. So cool, guys. Wow, I love this one. I love this one. It seems like you guys always know when I'm going to do a good painting because it sells. And then I go, man, I wish I wouldn't have had this one for sale because I love it so much, right? Look at how the water is coming in to a point right down here, pushing that a little bit further back, bringing this a little bit closer. Isn't that fantastic what you can just do with a couple little rotations of our brush, right? One swipe this way, it's all about the direction, the 3 Ds of Paint with Josh, right? The 3 Ds. And nobody knows what the heck I'm talking about. The 3Ds, it's a play off the 3 Ps of Paint with Josh, which we've been talking about. Paint, pressure, and practice, right? I love dragging that sucker around because the liquid white is literally so liquidy and white, it will blend away, just leaving the area that we want. Just like that. Fantastic. So the 3 Ps, right? Paint, pressure, practice. But the 3 Ds we were trying to talk a little bit about and trying to decide what they should be. Should it be depth, distance, detail, or distance? I can't even remember what it was now. Differences in color and detail and depth and difference. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it was. This guy needs to come over. There we go. That's looking a little better to my eyeballs. All has to look good to you, right? If it doesn't look good to you, there we go. Perfection. This guy's even a little too bright. I'm going to push on him a little bit harder with our pressure, right? Blending it down. We get these cool little things. Maybe we get a little bit of pink highlight as we come down our little bit of wave. All depends on you, right? What do you want yours to look like? Oh, that is fire. Couple little bits pulled in the right direction. You get these cool little things, right? What if we had a couple little details? A little bit of foam coming down, and then we softened it down because you have to soften it, right? You don't want to have it all out there with that texture of our brush. That's not what you want. That's why you like these big old 2-inch brushes. Oh yes, look at those couple little bits. It's like the water's rolling. We got our little piece over here, that little bit of dark, a little bit of disconnect right there to show the peak of the wave as it's going down the other way. Very cool. Very cool, guys. Who loves this one? Who bought it is my question. That is neat. Dip, duck, and dodge. That's right. So let's come in here. Let's grab up that liquid or titanium white, and we're going to grab up some liquid white just to help it act watery. We're going to mix those guys up, scrape it up onto our knife, and just do a teeny little bit of water right on the edge of that darkness, right on the top, right? And just get that little soft little thing, couple little details back into the wave. Just a few, nothing crazy. Right? And again, we have to go back and soften it. So we're going to come from the edge up into the wave like that. Right? Dab the brush off, come back, following those same angles, changing it. Bam, very cool. You keep that little bit of dark line in there and it looks like a little bit of shadow. It's very neat. Very neat. And if you lost your little bit of darkness, go back a little bit. Just scrape in a couple little areas underneath that light color. Right? That's all you need. Doesn't have to be the darkest, most black color you've ever seen. Just a little bit, and it just helps raise it up. It's a little shadow. Just helps sit it up just a little bit more. And that's what I like about it. Just gives it a little facelift, a little bit. There we go. All right, now let's highlight this guy over here, and we'll call her done, right? So let's highlight it with a little of our crimson and a little black color, just to darken it down just a little bit, but I want it to remain that red crimson-y color, and then we'll use our pink as a highlight as well. All right, so these will be our shadows. Anywhere we think the light's not gonna hit, we're gonna have all this deep, dark red, and when that matches up with all of the light color, it's gonna blend. It'll be very cool. Just like so, right? A little bit of texture out there. Come back in, grab up our white, grab up our crimson. Let's mix up a whole new pile over here. Maybe we'll call this, I don't know what we're gonna call it. You guys gotta tell me, because I have no idea what we're calling this one. All right, a little bit of pinky highlighty color. Gonna scrape that up and just wrap it around the side. It's gonna pick up in different places. Gonna have all these cool little things, little dark areas, little shadowy bits, little places where maybe it came out. Maybe it's a little flat, maybe it rotated down. Doesn't have to be the brightest thing you've ever seen, right? We're way out here in the night. There's not a lot of bright areas. And just like I said, you can feed them kind of back up and over those shadows. They all blend in together. Very cool. I like that one. That's a neat one. All right, maybe we had a little bit out there. A little darkness in between it. Cool little things, guys. Very easily done, too. Nothing real crazy about it. Not a whole lot of paint. Got to leave the darkness underneath, right? Don't want to cover up all that deep dark paint either. Very softly, very, very softly. Feeding our rocks down, so soft. I don't suggest you guys do this part as beginners, really. Don't even try to do that bit. It's real tough. It's tough to know the right amount of softness. I'm going to take a little bit of darkness, feeding it back in, so maybe we'll have a little shadow. Then watch, we can feed some of our light color of our sand. Help feed it back to whatever you think your shadow might be. And poof, got a really cool little bit. Right? The water's not going to be the same amount of wet sandiness everywhere anyway. So let's sign this painting, then we'll end the tutorial video, and then we'll mess around and have some fun on TikTok. So let's do this. We're going to go through our white paint. And it'll be some like crazy space birds flying off here. And these guys, I want them right down here. Right in the top of the horizon. Boom. Myself, London, and Bailey, our daughter, they go into every single painting. They look fantastic, and I just love them. It's the only way we get to travel. It's a kind of a sad thing, but it's true. So, this one turned out fantastic, guys. I love it. I hope you guys love it. And whoever bought it, thank you for that. I would buy it too. It's so freaking pretty. I was hoping it wasn't going to sell, and then I could maybe take it out the store, but you got a wicked deal on it, let me tell you that much. Let me tell you that much. So, I wonder who purchased it, and what are we going to name it, guys? Now comes time for the name, right? So, what do we name this painting? Let's see. Let's see what the name's going to be. Hit me with some names, you guys, and then the buyer might just, yeah, Rick and Morty vibes for sure. I feel it, especially the one below it, too. Oh, Nicole bought it? I was just thinking about Nicole earlier today and how I've been missing her. Nicole bought it before the Aurora was done. That's so cool. So what are we going to name it then? What's the name going to be, guys? Hit me with a name. What do you guys think it should be? Like, I love Rick and Morty so much. Yeah, maybe we should do, I'll learn how to do the Rick and Morty portal with this green. And we'll do some portal vibes. Some sort of something out there, right? Well, this one turned out fantastic. I'm super excited to see your version of this painting. Remember to send it into facebook.com/paintwithjosh or instagram.com/paintwithjoshk. And until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have the rest of a good day. And bye-bye.